Good morning, class, and as always, I'm your professor, Mary Ainsworth. It has been such an interesting week. It seems that my podcast on attachment styles and its relation to COVID 19 has gone viral. I've gotten so many emails from other psychologists responding to my perspective and advice. And I'm beyond honored to be a part of this worldwide conversation in which so many psychologists are jumping in and contributing information according to their expertise. Surprisingly, this pandemic has not only united us as a whole, but also psychology in a very special way. So in this class, I wanted to share with you some points from an email that was sent by Festigner. For those of you who are not very familiar with Festigner, he is an American social psychologist known for cognitive dissonance theory and social comparison theory. Before we get into the email, I think it's important to speak a little bit more on cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance refers to a situation with conflicting attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors. An example of someone experiencing cognitive dissonance that I think you may be able to relate to is knowing that you need to study for a final exam, but choosing to watch Netflix. Festigner states that one way to alleviate the feeling of cognitive dissonance is to change one or more of the attitudes, behaviors, or beliefs. Looking back at our example, you could alleviate the cognitive dissonance by convincing yourself that the exam is not important and continue to watch Netflix. Or, the better choice in my opinion, decide that you should stop watching Netflix and start studying for your exam. So now that's clear, let's move on to Festigner's email. He predicts that parents might feel a lot of cognitive dissonance during COVID-19, which could then lead them to distancing from their children, resulting in children forming unhealthy attachment styles. So let's unpack this thought together. I think the best way to do this would be to think of an example. So many parents are working from home now due to COVID-19, and it's a sudden shift. As we mentioned earlier, cognitive dissonance refers to a situation with conflicting attitude, beliefs, or behaviors. Well, maybe this parent knows that the best thing to do would be to spend some quality time with their child each day, but instead chooses to spend more time doing work because they feel they aren't meeting their work goals. Maybe this was what Festigner meant in his email, but if this is similar to what he meant, then I completely agree with him. The COVID situation has put a lot of stress on parents lately, and they can feel like they're putting work over their child's needs. I think working outside of a home location makes it easier to follow the common saying, you should leave work at work. My suggestions to parents in this situation would be to reach out to their supervisors if they're feeling overwhelmed. While I'm not trying to minimize the importance of work, it would be a disservice if I, as a developmental psychologist, said that it would be okay to put your children's needs second. So I think that's all for this class, and I will be here after class to answer any of these questions. But feel free to post any questions to the discussion board. See you guys next week.